Talk to me about filming like Cotton Swines, because I was watching it and it was a little bit painful to watch at certain parts.
Yeah, Layla, the writer-director, is from Ghana and grew up seeing Chikosi and seeing this practice of girls being mutilated and seeing this practice of like women becoming these sex slaves and she had this vision of the story she wanted to tell. She wanted people to be uncomfortable. She wanted you to cringe. She wanted you to, because in her mind, and that was the best way, the strongest way to get the point across of like how important this is to stop this, right? How big of a problem this is in this country. So filming it, listen, there were times where like there was one day we shot in this slave castle. It was like 4 hours away from where we were. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. We pull up, it's this slave castle that was built in the 1700s by the Danish, which was formerly a Ghanaian prison. And they just turned it over to the Danes, and the Danes started sending slaves. And it sits right on the ocean, and you look out the sail and you see the most beautiful blue ocean water you could ever imagine. And then you realize that like this was the beginning of a journey for these people. Like this is the beginning of our ancestry here in America, right? I cried like when they was yelling cut, I was like, 2 more minutes. Like I couldn't stop. It was just so powerful. It's one thing to hear the stories on our end, but then to see where people were ripped away from their family was really, it was really powerful, yeah.
And we usually have a conversation about slavery here, but we never really have that conversation about the continental Africa.
Yeah.
So tell us why that was so important.
I think it was important for a couple of reasons. I mean, it opens our mind to like a bit of our history and where we come from. It sent me on this chase of like my ancestry. Right? I went and got the whole DNA kit. I was like, yo, where am I from? I want to know. Like, it sent me on this whole thing of like, of course, I don't know every single story because there were so many slaves who were brought here, but we've heard those. Now I want to hear this part of it and what their view of that whole thing is and how they see it and what it was. When it started out, this is something I just learned. When it started out, they were sending prisoners away, right? Like, I didn't learn that in high school. I didn't learn that in high school. I learned that, when I got over there, I found out that they were actually getting rid of the outcasts of their society, and that's how it started. And then it turned into something else, and it was uncontrollable at that point.
Okay, switching gears really quickly. Talk to me about Insecure. I feel like you're playing something that's totally different than what we're used to seeing you as. How was that?
It was the most. It was probably one of the most amazing things. I'm gonna say it's probably the most amazing thing I've ever gotten to do. I got to play a bum. Like legitimately, like I didn't leave my house for 2 months. I didn't cut my hair for 2 months.
Like you didn't get a haircut.
Like yeah, it was rough. Like I literally I was only posting like once every 3. I didn't want nobody to see me, but it was amazing because like I got to play a dude who. Shout out to Issa and Prentice and Melina and HBO for giving me a shot because you're right. Like most chances I would never get the opportunity to play that dude, right? And so it was something that was super, super important to me. And, you see him go on this massive journey. You see him start out in one way and then he goes on this journey. And I don't know, I'm forever grateful to Issa and those guys because they're such geniuses with such great writing and such a strong point of view. And I'm just so fortunate to be there, Yeah.
Well, y'all definitely have another hit on your hands.
Wildest dreams, even as I watched the cliffhanger. Stefan.
She's really the highlight of this whole show. I don't even know why we're here.
And so,